So, faraway Nisha, if you were a multi-billionaire and could afford anything you wanted, what would be the first thing you'd buy?
Ooh, I'd probably buy a house like in a really hot country and just escape.
There we go.
Just hide from the world.
Just escape the world right now. I think we can all agree with that. Towards the end of his life, Howard Hughes famously spent several years living in a Las Vegas hotel room decorated with jars of his own piss as he set about buying almost every property in the city. Of these properties, perhaps the most curious is a TV station that Hughes bought almost purely so that he had something to watch at 4 a.m.
I mean, I'm pretty curious about him having his own jars of piss, for a start.
Yes, okay, so in 1966, Howard Hughes, the billionaire, very famously arrived in Las Vegas under the cover of night and moved into the top 2 floors of the Desert Inn Hotel and then promptly refused to leave for about 5 years. During which time he virtually never left his room, which infamously was found to have jars of his own piss just all over it. And one of the things that's quite interesting about this story is that you would think that the owner of the Desert Inn Hotel would have been ecstatic that one of the world's most famous billionaires arrived at his hotel and booked out 2 entire floors for an indeterminate amount of time. But apparently, when Howard Hughes first arrived, it caused quite a lot of friction with the owner of the Desert Inn Hotel because they wanted to clear out those floors because New Year's Eve was approaching and they wanted to rent them out to high rollers. In response, Howard Hughes bought the hotel, which I contend is one of the most baller moves in history, because that's what they have Christian Bale Batman do in the first Nolan Batman movie to show that he's just a showy playboy asshole when he buys the entire hotel just to let strippers dance around in the fountain.
I'm buying this hotel and setting some new rules about the pool area.
But the story gets just a little bit more amazing because after Hughes bought the Desert Inn and moved into the top 2 floors basically permanently, he began to complain that a neighbouring hotel, I think it's the Pink Slipper, had a sign that was annoying him. And rather than move to another room in the hotel that he owned, Howard Hughes bought that hotel and took the sign down.
What the fuck?
Just because it was in his way. That is literal fuck you money right there. There is something in my way. I'm not moving, that thing's moving, even if that thing is an entire fucking hotel.
That's the thing, he could literally just move across the hall and he'd not be facing that way. But no, he had to spend billions of pounds just to get rid of a sign.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the hotel purely to remove the sign. It still made him profit, obviously, because it's a hotel in Las Vegas, but the idea he bought it in his first act was take the sign down. Why? Because it bothers me, it offends me, its smug aura mocks me, as it were, and he took it down. But yeah, after that he went on a buying spree, buying multiple properties in Las Vegas, vast swathes of land, and most pertinent to today's video, Channel 8.
Okay, so what's the deal with Channel 8?
Well, the deal is that after Howard Hughes bought Channel 8, he basically set about turning it into his own personal Netflix account. Because one of the first things he did upon buying Channel 8 is tell them, you now air content 24 hours a day. When they asked him, well, we don't have enough content to air 24 hours a day. We can only air what we've got. He went, look, I'm Howard Hughes. I own RKO Studios outright. I've got one of the biggest libraries of film and TV at my beck and call. You can have anything you want from its archives as long as you never stop airing footage. Howard Hughes wanted them to run 24 hours a day because he had a habit of staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning, and he frequently expressed frustration that there was literally nothing to watch. So he decided to fix that by buying a TV station and making them run content 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so yeah, basically Netflix.
And when I say basically Netflix, I mean this thing was basically Netflix, because despite the fact it was airing live, Howard Hughes somehow found the ability to rewind the content he wanted to watch, because he had a direct line to the studio, and he was known to call them up at all hours of the day and just say, oh, I missed that scene, can you rewind it, please? And they would, because Howard Hughes owned the studio and they didn't want to piss him off. There are reports from people who worked there and who lived in Las Vegas at the time that sometimes you'll be watching a show and it'd just rewind 5 or 10 minutes. And you'd think, oh Howard Hughes must have been on the toilet or something because he must have missed that scene. And sometimes he'd get bored of shows halfway through and just something new would air entirely. So you could be watching a film and then halfway through the film, a new film would start because Howard Hughes wanted to watch that film.
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue. Mr. Hughes, we can't do that. It's like, yes, you can. I own it. do what you want. And like I said, he owned RKO Studios. All right, so he had one of like the biggest back catalogues of films and media available to him. So he just said, like, you can have whatever you want from the archives, just never stop airing, because I get really bored. So they just did that. It's great. Before we get on to the most ridiculous thing Howard Hughes did when he was in charge of this TV station, there's a little story about him that I just think encapsulates just how crazy he got. And it was that he became obsessed with a very specific kind of ice cream. And like he said, I like this, I want more of it. I want the hotel that we're in right now to never run out. And they checked and went, oh, they no longer make this brand of ice cream. Like, it's been discontinued. And Howard Hughes just said, make it work. I want this ice cream right now. And they called up the manufacturer and went, can you make more of this ice cream? So we can, but we have to do like a production run, which is about 5,000 litres. And they called Howard Hughes and went, we can get you your ice cream, but we have to order 5,000 litres of it. He went, yeah, that's fine. Order 5,000 litres of this ice cream. And they did. And the story goes that the day it arrived, Howard Hughes decided he didn't like that ice cream anymore.
No.
And they just gave it away for free. It's like, that's what you do when you're a billionaire. You can do that kind of shit.
All right, so what is the most ridiculous thing that he has done?
Well, there is a story told by someone who used to work at Channel 8 that one evening they got a call. A call they often got, and that was a call from Howard Hughes' hotel room. The direct line he had to them, they answered it and goes, what can I do for you, Mr. Hughes? He goes, I want to watch Sugarfoot. To which the person at the studio responded, I'm sorry, we don't have that show. And an annoyed Howard Hughes just said, hang on, I'll call you back in 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, Howard Hughes called them back and went, okay, it's sorted, and then hung up. And the person at the studio was like, what does he mean sorted? 10 minutes after that, they got a knock at the door, and it was a guy holding the original film reels that they'd got from Warner Bros. Studios.
Holy shit.
They handed them to them, signed a piece of paper, and the show aired as planned. Think about that for a moment. I want to watch this TV show. I'm sorry, but we don't have that. Give me a minute. Within like half an hour, the original film reels are there. If anyone's wondering, like, was it because RKO owned them? It's like, no, like RKO did not own the rights to Sugarfoot, but Howard Hughes was a very powerful man with a lot of connections, so he presumably was able to just bend the ear of someone who knew, and just have those film reels just taken directly to Las Vegas. Netflix, folks. Like, see, that's better than Netflix, because when I go on Netflix, like, I want to watch Parks and Rec, I'm sorry, but we don't got it. They don't go and get it for me, do they? With Howard Hughes, they fucking did. So in a roundabout way, far away Nisha, this video has been a discussion of just like on-demand content. And Howard Hughes basically invented that when he was just having things delivered to a studio that he owned. But we live in the golden age of on-demand content right now. There is almost nothing that we cannot watch. So in that vein, Nisha, is there a piece of content that you haven't been able to find?
Well, I've been wanting to watch like film franchises, and on Now TV they have quite a big selection, but sometimes they have one of the films missing.
Oh god, I hate that.
Like the first or second film, like I want to watch all of them. I don't want to miss one, so you have to go out your way to find it somewhere else, and I can't find it. It's not on Netflix, not on Amazon Prime, unless you like buy it. And I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? And the one for me is the show Monk, which is an old procedural from many years ago that I just like remember really liking as a kid. Because I remember like my next door neighbour used to look after us sometimes. He'd have like the one on VHS. And I just remember really getting like, you know what? I want to watch Monk. Because I thought, I want something like as background noise. And it's got like 7 seasons and each season got like 30 episodes. That'd be really great background binging content. Does anywhere have Monk? No.
No.
You can buy one season on YouTube for like 17 quid. And I'm like, I'm not fucking paying 17 quid and then not even having a DVD or something that I own or physically can like, you know, just keep and have in my hand. Like, fuck you. So I can't watch Monk. I want to watch some. No,
so
fuck
annoying.
you, Karl. So you can watch season 4 of Futurama on Prime, but not season 1. So, okay, great, thanks.
I think the film I was looking for was the second Terminator film.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't find it anywhere. I could find the first one and then like the rest of the franchise, but the second one...
Because the second one's the best one, so of course that's not on stream. I remember trying to watch John Wick. So, I want to watch John Wick again. But what's Netflix got? It's got John Wick 2 and 3. Where's John Wick 1? Well, Amazon Prime's got that. How? How is that? How do they not have them all?
Yeah, that's on my list to watch as well. I'm like, where's the first one? I need to watch it from the start.
I was like, oh god damn it, I just want to watch this in one. It's like, we are getting closer and closer to just being all the way back to when like cable or satellite television again. where it is you have to pay like 50, 60 quid a month to watch all your content. Because I think it was worse when Game of Thrones was airing. And if you wanted to keep up with Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, like the Marvel TV shows, you had to have like Amazon Prime, HBO, Netflix. It's like you've got like 15 different fucking streaming things that you have to have just to like, you know, like keep abreast of what like, you know, is currently being talked about in pop culture. It's like, fuck's sake. I remember getting Disney Plus and it was like 50 quid. There's like a deal for a year, and I've not watched it in 2 months. I watched all of The Simpsons, and what else have they got? Oh, fucking nothing. Despite the fact, and here's what pisses me off, like, you know, content that you can't get. Disney, now that they own Fox, owns stuff like Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
And they refuse to put it on Disney Plus because it's not child-friendly. They're going to, and the rumour is they're going to make like a different streaming service where they put that kind of content on there. It's like, fuck, so I've got to get another streaming service to watch Malcolm in the Middle. And like, if you want to watch something like The Office isn't on Netflix anymore. Or it isn't in the UK. So now you have to go get another streaming service if you want to watch The Office or Parks and Rec. It's like, for fuck's sake. I just want to watch the same show I've already seen 3 times again in the background. Oh.